What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and the greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the notification gang, hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, the channel donations, and the Patreon family. We working. Now I'm back with my original segment, Boxingego's First Look, a tale of the tape series, a sneak peek, a preview of the fight before the fight. Saturday, September 16th, live on HBO pay-per-view from the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. We have a great main event presented by Golden Boy Promotions and K2 Promotions. This was a long time coming. All of 2016, fans clamored for this particular fight, and we didn't seem to get it. But it's still here, and it's still a primed fight, meaning neither guy has taken like a bad loss since or anything like that. So this is just overall a great fight. You have Canelo Alvarez, who's the current Lineal and Ring Magazine middleweight world champion from Guadalajara, Mexico, right? He has over 50 fights. You have Triple G, an Olympic silver medalist at middleweight. He's the current WBC, WBA, IBF, and IBO champion, meaning just like Terrence Crawford, who just fought Julius Indongo to become undisputed, he's one belt away from having all the belts at middleweight. He has a killer knockout percentage. He has 37 fights, but 33 knockouts, so definitely a big puncher. And up until Daniel Jacobs, he was on a long knockout streak. He had knocked out 23 consecutive opponents. So I'm looking forward to this. This is overall a good fight, again, September 16th. And the thing I like about good fights and even preparing these first looks is you see a split. When I'm putting together the facts and the stats and whatnot, you see a good fight. It's not just, oh, what people here say. It's, you can actually see it. When I'm putting the stats, I'm like, man, the height's pretty close, and experience and different things like that. This is a good fight. And like I said, the fans have been requesting this fight for quite some time. Canelo Alvarez is coming off his performance this year, Cinco de Mayo weekend, against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., Julio Cesar Chavez Sr.'s son, and it was a very dominant, lopsided 12-round decision. Yeah, and there's only one way you could have really scored that fight, and that was Canelo. I mean, I struggled to give any rounds to Chavez Jr. I didn't give him any round. Golovkin, his last fight, he defended, and he had a consolidation of the WBA belt. Golovkin was the Super WBA champion, and his opponent, Daniel the Miracle Man Jacobs, was the regular WBA champion. They had two versions of the belt. So when they fought last March, I went to that fight, covered it live as media. They consolidated that belt, and that was a champion versus champion, basically. And it was a good fight. Triple G had an excellent jab. Jacobs got knocked down once, got back up, got better, used some movement. And that fight, in the minds of Team Triple G, it sounds like they believe that fight is what gave Team Canelo courage to want to fight them, right? And that's because there were some vulnerabilities there. Some people thought Jacobs won. I personally thought Jacobs won that particular fight. So that's the way boxing works in the grand scheme of things. If you have a crazy dominant performance, like let's say Terrence Crawford versus Julius Indongo, he stopped the only other champion at 140 with a vicious body shot in the third round, then you don't see a bunch of people calling him out. But if there's some vulnerabilities, if there's a little bit of struggle or some controversy, then you might see more people calling him out. And that's kind of what happened with Golovkin, which is good for fans because one way or another, we are getting the fight. After the Chavez Jr. victory for Canelo, they had a full-on WWE type of experience where they called Golovkin into the stage, and Canelo said, "Triple G, you are next, my friend. The fight is done. I've never feared anyone. Since I was 16 fighting as a professional when I was born, the fear was gone. I never got my share of fear. I'm very happy, and the rivalry is going to show my skills even more. I've had difficult fights, and that will no doubt be a tough fight, but they will say Canelo Alvarez is the best because I fight the best." And that's what he said immediately after dethroning Chavez Jr. for all of the Mexican bragging rights in that fight, again on Cinco de Mayo weekend. So this is a terrific fight. I'm looking forward to it. This is an interesting stylistic matchup. You have a taller Golovkin, great jab, great experience, great power. He's trained by Abel Sanchez, a very good trainer. And then you have Canelo, who's trained by the Reynoso brothers. He looks motivated. He's definitely improved from the Mayweather loss. He just looks better. And in my opinion, I think he's kind of taken some plays out of Floyd Mayweather's playbook. His defense up top, his upper body movement is very slick in there. He has slow feet, but his upper body movement keeps him in pocket and able to throw shots and counter, but also keeps him defensively responsible. So as far as defense, Canelo definitely has a better defense than Triple G. But this is, again, this is boxing. So there's other variables like Golovkin's size, his amateur pedigree. And Golovkin, to me, has a hell of a chin because Daniel Jacobs hit him with a clean shot later in the fight, and he just ate it. And he never looked visibly really rocked or on Queer Street or anything like that. Golovkin says, I feel very excited. In September, it will be a different style, a big drama show. I'm ready. Tonight, first congrats. This was the night of the Chavez Jr. fight. He said, first congrats to Canelo and his team right now. I think everyone is excited for September. Canelo looked very good against Chavez Jr. and 100%. He is the biggest challenge of my career. Good luck to Canelo. And Canelo responded to that by basically saying, I don't need luck. Luck is for the mediocre. So there was a bit of a slight from Mr. Alvarez. All in all, this is a very good name. Canelo is a bankable star. Even in his less than desired fight with Liam Smith in Texas, he had at least 50,000 people in the stands at the AT&T Stadium. Golovkin has done good crowds at the Forum, Madison Square Garden. The pay-per-view numbers for Golovkin haven't really been there, but when you get this type of fight, which is, some people are saying, the biggest fight of this year, obviously they're competing with Floyd Mayweather, Conor McGregor. Nonetheless, it's still a big fight, and you have those two names together in a fight we've been craving as a boxing populace. It should be fireworks, and I'm looking forward to it. Now let's take a look at the tail of the tape. GENNADY Triple G Golovkin has a perfect, unblemished record of 37-0. In my opinion, his very last fight with Daniel, the Miracle Man Jacobs, was perhaps his toughest fight as a professional. We'll see what the once beaten Canelo can do. Canelo Alvarez, Saul Alvarez, has a record of 49-1-1. He has a controversial fight with Edeslani Lara. They did give him a credit for the win, and his sole loss is to Floyd Money Mayweather. And there's no real shame losing to Mayweather, aka TBE, because he's beaten everybody for the last 20 years. Very interesting category is the age. Golovkin just turned 35 this year, and Canelo just turned 27 this year. So the age advantage definitely goes to Canelo. He's the younger fighter. Even though he has 49 fights, neither guy has taken a lot of punishment. Neither guy has been stopped, things like that. But the more youthful fighter is Canelo Alvarez. Now, this is a good fight, man. And every time I do these first looks, when I'm putting them together, I see how good of a fight it is based on the metrics and the numbers and the vital stats. Golovkin is 5'10.5". He's listed at 5'10.5". Canelo's listed at 5'9". I think Canelo's a little bit shorter than that too. So the height advantage definitely goes to GENNADY Triple G Golovkin. The fight is taking place at the full 160, the middleweight division, where Golovkin holds his belts. He in fact has all the belts except for Billy Joe Saunders' WBO belt. Right now, Canelo has already been on record stating at the moment he's not going to accept the WBC belt even if he beats Golovkin. He's an on-standing beef, I guess, with the WBC, but Golovkin has all the belts except for Billy Joe Saunders, who is now facing Willie Monroe Jr., and the winner of that fight will have the WBO belt. Golovkin has already beaten Willie Monroe. If he wins, Billy Joe Saunders would be a fresh face for either of these guys. But the fight is taking place at 160 pounds, the middleweight division, which is also good because this fight has been talked about for at least a year and a half. And at one point, Canelo was still at 155, and he didn't have any intentions of moving up when Golovkin wanted him to move up. Even though he was a lineal middleweight champion, he made it clear, if Golovkin wants to come down and fight me at 55, we can do it. But until then, I'll move up when my body is ready. So I'm glad that they got that cleared up, and this fight is happening not at a catchweight, but at the full 160, so there will be no excuses. Now, the shorter man, Canelo, his listed reach is 70.5 inches, and Golovkin has a reach of 70 inches. So take it for what it's worth. That's what it's listed as. Canelo having a half-inch reach advantage, even though he's the shorter man. September 16th, T-Mobile Arena. Golden Boy has, and K2 Promotions has provided the boxing fans with a great fight. One of the best fights, one of the most meaningful fights, and that's what I'm all about. This should deliver. Neither guy's in a boring fight. There's a lot of different ways you can slice it. Will the taller GENNADY Golovkin exercise that piston-like jab that he's been using against power punchers? David Lemieux, Danny Jacobs couldn't get out of the way of the jab, right? Canelo has some good head movement, so will that be enough for Golovkin's jab? Plus, Golovkin is a mean puncher. In fact, before Daniel Jacobs, he had 23 knockouts in a row. Now, I think people are sleeping on Canelo's power. I think he has the power to definitely hurt Triple G. Can he stop him? That remains to be seen, but he definitely has power, respectable power. And if he didn't, I think we would have seen a different Chavez Jr. in Canelo's last fight. Canelo made Chavez Jr. gun shy. You could say, oh, it was the weight and Chavez did this and that, but ultimately, if there was nothing to fear, then he could have kept coming forward. But obviously, to me, from what I've seen in the Chavez Jr. fight, the skill set and the power was keeping him at bay, and Chavez Jr. didn't really want to engage and trade punches too much with Canelo Alvarez. So, very interesting fight. Again, Canelo, to me, has more overall skills. If this was a toolbox, Canelo would have more tools in that tool shed. But this is boxing. This is the hurt business. This is the fight game. So sometimes it's about other factors other than just skills. It's like, who's the bigger man? And you can't sleep on Golovkin's amateur pedigree. The guy has over 350 fights, if I'm not mistaken. So he's well versed, even though he's older. That age also comes with experience, right? He's a silver medalist in the Olympics. Canelo turned pro at 15 in Mexico, but he had to kind of learn on the job while Golovkin was competing in nationals and at the Olympics and stuff. Great fight, Triple G versus Canelo Alvarez, September 16th. Drop your fight predictions below. Let me know, how does this one play out? Shout out to Golden Boy and K2 for making this, and this will be on HBO pay-per-view. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Canelo versus Triple G, Golovkin versus Canelo, however you want to call it. This is a great fight and a meaningful one. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Make sure you smash the like button as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego, signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.